It's been a little while since the announcement that Qualcomm is considering merging with Intel. I have to say that I remember the days when I was at Applied Materials board more than a decade ago. Intel was God. Intel was the one that could do no wrong. And now we found out that there's been some serious misrepresentations, let's just say, in the financials of the company, hiding a lot of losses. Now, what happened? I think one way we can look at it is the whole chip sector has been seriously distorted from normal market practices by the sanctions the US imposed on Chinese semiconductor business. What happened is that forcing the chip companies to give up their biggest market, which is China, is creating new competitors for these chip companies from the Chinese development of chips by themselves. And this is something that has been distorting the market of late for a couple of years now. It's impacted on Qualcomm, it's impacted on Intel, of course, and then Samsung as well. And ultimately, of course, the real manufacturers, Taiwan Semiconductor, and so on. I think what we see is the sanctions by the US on Chinese semiconductor industry, the market distorting forces that creates is really no good for everyone. And this will eventually lead to serious downfall of a number of US chip companies. As we see now what happened to Intel. What will eventually happen, whether or not it would be cash injection or it would be an acquisition or merger, it's not clear yet. But the turmoil in the semiconductor sector, in the market, especially now leading to a top level, is going to continue, and it's probably going to wreak more havoc on the semiconductor industries in the West. What will happen to Intel? Nobody really knows. Cash injection will help it along for a while, but it doesn't change the fact that Intel no longer is at the tip of the pyramid. What will also happen to the acquisition case that Qualcomm has produced? Don't know yet. But from what I hear from friends in the sector, it's not going to be an easy acquisition to make, especially since it involves financial records which have indicated that there have been serious misrepresentation in the books of Intel. I think it's very likely that something has to happen to save Intel, and something will happen to save Intel. This is despite the fact that the US government, through their Inflation Reduction Act, has already given billions of support to the semiconductor industry in the US. But the market has been distorted. The biggest market in the world, namely the Chinese market, has been taken away by the US government sanctions, taken away from these chip companies. I think it's going to be very, very difficult times ahead for the chip companies.